We started this podcast to help resist what we called the slow apocalypse. But it hasn't been slow at all. Fascism is rising in the U.S. at an alarmingly fast rate. So sometimes we feel the need to make a smaller, quicker episode that is a more immediate response to current events. We are calling these resist ants, because even though they are smaller, like little ants, they are strong for their size, and many of them together, one grain of sand at a time, can build a giant levee against the flood of authoritarianism.
So what are we talking about today, Kathy?
Well, as we've noticed, things are moving really, really fast with the fall of the United States into fascism. And as a consequence, we need to mobilize fast to respond to that. And so today, I just want to talk briefly about something called bloc recruitment. And bloc recruitment is a term coined by a sociologist named Tony Oberschall. And this is what he says it is. Bloc recruitment is the way in which social movement organizers often recruit members and participants among groups of individuals already organized for some other purpose.
So how does it work?
So a great example of this is the role of the black churches in the civil rights movement. For example, they provided key organizing spaces for the Montgomery bus boycott in the hours and days immediately following Rosa Parks' arrest for not giving up her seat on a bus. They also provided key participants, including the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., who, because he was a pastor of a Montgomery church, was drawn in as one of the leaders of the movement. So we can see that, according to Marx and McAdam, most movements appear to develop out of stable existing organizations. As a number of scholars have shown, it was the black churches and colleges that provided the context out of which the civil rights movement emerged. The same point has been made in regard to other movements. For instance, in his definitive account of the free speech movement, Heinrich clearly shows that the protest developed within a coalition of established campus groups rather than among marginal, poorly organized students.
What's important about these already existing groups?
So here's one answer to that from Diani in 2013. The additional advantage offered by bloc recruitment is that the recruitment effort is considerably lower, inasmuch as it builds upon the trust relations, mutual obligations, and consolidated routines that exist between the members of an already established and operative group. That means all those things you have to do to gain trust, to bring people together, to organize people, even things like having a phone tree so you can call people, or an email list, or a group chat, those already exist. What bloc recruitment says is they exist for other reasons. You can piggyback on pre-existing groups and get them mobilized quickly because all of that infrastructure is already there for contacting people, getting things organized. All of the trust is already there. If you're going into a situation that may be dangerous, and now we know in the United States anything may be dangerous. Writing an opinion piece in your school's newspaper may be dangerous. You need trusted others who can back you up. Where are you going to get those trusted others? From groups that you're already a member of.
So let me see if I understand what you're saying. You're suggesting that if someone is trying to organize resistance against fascism, the Trump administration in particular, that it's one way to do this, to find people to be in solidarity with and to work together against this oppression, is to seek groups that already exist. So in the university context, go to the American Association of University Professors, or also go to the Ping Pong Club, where there are groups of people who already have trust and associations and each other's phone numbers. They may come as a large group together to join and work with you in combating fascism.
That's right. So instead of having to reach out individually one by one to each person that you say want to attend a march, all you have to do is reach, the president of each of these different clubs or the recording secretary or one member that you know. So anyone trying to organize something doesn't have to recruit individual members. You can recruit entire blocks of people to go, and you can do it quickly and you can do it easily. These are people who are going to show up, and these are people who you can count on, and they can count on each other when they're there.
That sounds like a powerful tool in building more of a movement.
Exactly. And so the final thing I want to say, another quote from Marx and McAdam is, indeed, if there is anything approaching a consistent finding in the study of social movements, it is that movements seem to depend on prior organization rather than disorganization. So how do we organize fast now? We need to look to already existing groups that you already belong to. Look to those as a way of organizing this recruitment into social movements, which means if you're going to look to groups that you're already a member of, it means you have to keep investing in your community. You have to keep being a part of the community. You never know when your book club or your knitting circle will be the next locus of the resistance.
That's powerful. Let's keep doing this.
Okay.